Today we're going to show y'all some of my side projects. Pretty much shop organization. It's still not done yet, but we're working on it. As you can see, my workbench area is an absolute disaster. We are cleaning it, but we've been rebuilding these Corkin propane pumps, and they're just kind of a side project right now. But one thing I will say is, like, one of the biggest hells is organizing your chickens. Now, one of the biggest hells about doing any kind of mechanic work is keeping yourself organized, because you just end up with so many projects at once, and you never really have time to clean up. So, I'm going to show you some of my budget organization things, and some of the things are kind of, like I said, it's a work in progress. So, this is an old wire shelving unit I've had for years. This is kind of a catch-all, but mainly welding equipment and air equipment. I just try to put it over here because it makes a nice pile away from everything where I kind of know where it's at. This is a shelf for power tools. It's a little bit blocked in right now. But, you know, just as kind of a catch-all, even though it's not great organization, it keeps all of it together. All of my power tools down there. All of my extra welding stuff's up there. It's at least separated from everything else, not to make a big disaster. Let's go to the tool room. We were working on organizing it last night. I'm one of those people that I don't keep things organized as I work. I just organize once a week. So this is an old toolbox I've had. One thing I do highly recommend is these little dividers for your pliers and stuff. It just kind of keeps everything a little bit more organized. Not by much, but the little toolbox, even though it doesn't have any dividers or anything, is kind of good for just catch-alls, you know. Extensions, you accumulate those over the years. This right here is just for Allen keys. This is my drill bit catch-all. This is my punches and picks and stuff like that. And then these actually go up to shelves. See what I mean by catch-all? And even though it's not like super pretty Instagram organized, it's more organized than anything else I have. But we'll walk into the tool room. It was getting reorganized last night to try to get something under control. This is my wrench wall. What I have a rule of is I keep 2 of every wrench, and then so I keep 2 of every wrench here, 1 to 2 of every wrench there. Anything else goes on the floor, and we accumulate it and throw it in a pile later. But this is the original organization system I had. It was just screws and nails into the wall. And that is actually a really good organization system when you're first starting, because a box of nails is like 20 bucks. A piece of plywood's not much at all. And then just hang everything up, you know. Start it. And this is the last owner. He started at 4.5, and he went to 25, and then 3/8 up to 1 1/4. Right? I got my big sockets up there. We're going to move those later. But it's a very cheap budget way to organize your sockets and wrenches. Your next option for your socket side is go to Harbor Freight and buy these little U.S. General socket organizers. They come with a 1/4 inch drive, a 1/2 inch drive, and 3/8 drive. And they have enough room for both your short well and deep well. So you can put 2 sets of sockets on there. Only reason I don't like it is I have a ton of overlap sockets over the years. Broken sets, lost sets, and all that other stuff. So I have a ton of overlap. So these are really nice just because I know where everything's at. But I also keep duplicates up there. Once again, these little things. Now, another thing I'll say is shelving helped a lot. Like so, I've got these boxes of miscellaneous Harbor Freight and Amazon O-rings, pins, bushings, all that stuff. Just get you one by and some brackets. I've got 2 brackets here and 1 on the bottom, and just a budget shelf. You just kind of keep stuff. It gives you more vertical space for storing those little container boxes. Just be careful not to let stuff accumulate on the shelves. This is another thing I found on Amazon. This is actually a tool organizer. If you don't have a whole lot of room and you just have some power tools to get rid of, it was 60 bucks. It's a good way on a budget just to kind of keep your chargers and your drill kits and all of that stuff organized. You know, it only holds 4. It's not really expandable. It's got some spots on the side where you can hang stuff. But it's well worth the 50 or 60 bucks. It puts together real easy. Then what I've been working with last night is I installed these things right here. And what they're good at is where if you have a shelf, you can just kind of, you don't have to have a pile of tools. They're all kind of held up. And even with this, the side clips, you just put a little one by underneath and away you go. But they seem pretty sturdy. They have enough bolts on them. You could probably hang them on the wall, but I wouldn't mind that way. And then these battery clips right here, they are amazing to have. Just because it lets you kind of keep your batteries organized and under control. Yeah. And then next organization thing, and a lot of this is just like stuff I've done over the years. Pegboard. If you get you some old pegboard, it's just nice to have because it's a nice, pretty background. And you can buy these little Harbor Freight clips and hang stuff. So this is an old self-shelving unit out of a grocery store. It works really well for just putting the pegboard in, kind of hanging stuff. It's a disaster right now because I'm reworking it. You're going to have to forgive me for it. It works really well when it's organized. It does tend to accumulate junk a lot. But what I did for my wrenches, same concept as over here, except I used these old hangers and I just did my wrenches, cut a line down the half. Standard, metric, I got my sockets there. And, you know, the shelf kind of catches everything. But, you know, it's not terrible. And then, just need to go on the other side of the shop. And then once again, if you just happen to have some pegboard you find, it's actually very, very stout. I mean, you can actually see how many hammers I have hanging off this pegboard. It holds up really well. So, there are a few, I guess, starter organization techniques from costing $5 to costing probably $200. I've had them for years. I don't have a lot of money to buy a nice toolbox, and honestly, I don't like toolboxes because they do accumulate mess. And I'm one of those people, if I don't see it, I can't find it. So I leave everything out in the open. It does require more room than a toolbox. It's less secure than a toolbox. But if you're a home mechanic, you know, it doesn't really matter. And don't feel bad if your shop stays full of accumulation, because this is how mine looks most of the time. And then I spend about a week organizing it, then a month tearing it apart, and a week organizing and a month tearing it apart. So there's your your daily dose of shop stuff.